Valorant is boring. This is probably one of the most common phrases I have heard in the last couple of months from people around me playing this game. For me, it seems like the negativity in Valorant is only increasing. People are saying the game doesn't change enough and that updates are only fun for a couple of weeks. Skin prices are too high and are becoming unaffordable. There are too many toxic players in the game, or cheaters are becoming more and more of a problem as well. Now, I'm not trying to discredit anything Riot has done, as Valorant is and will be one of my all-time favorite games to play. But currently, they are facing one of their biggest dilemmas to date. I'm Monkey, MXNKKY, and literally nobody is subscribed. Also, we're like this close to our Porsche 911 GT3 RS, because yeah, why not? Players are what keeps games alive, as no players equals no money, and no money, of course, equals no funds to develop the game, and no funds to develop equals no updates. And without updates, the game becomes dead. Pretty simple. Now, before I get into the dilemma, will Valorant die? No, probably not in 10 years or even 20 years. The game has got too much backing from Riot Games, which we have to give credit for developing this game in the first place. Because in the end, it's a good game. Like, why else would people play it? Because let's be honest, if this was a bad game, people would have dropped it within a couple of months. Anyways, now that I'm done glazing Riot, Valorant faces a dilemma that every game faces at one point in their life. With Valorant being a competitive shooter, its player base is becoming exceedingly more divided. Different players want different things from the game, hence keeping every player type satisfied becomes tremendously difficult. Now, I'd like to divide the player base into 3 types. I call them the 3 C's. These would be competitive players, casuals, and content creators. Now, each of these players are slightly different and require different attention from Riot Games. Now, I'd like to start off with arguably the reason why Valorant exists: competitive play. I think Riot Games has done an incredible job at creating a mostly balanced game for the competitive scene, which is good most of the time. Having a game designed about ranked is not a bad thing. For a lot of players, it's fun to grind the rank ladder, experience ups and downs, gaining valuable rank rating, which defines you as a person. It might even help you get a job. I mean, it teaches you social skills, how to handle children, and a lot of patience. I'm telling you, ranked is the perfect preparation to work at a kindergarten. I'm sorry, I know most of you have a job already or are still in school, which is good. And I do not want to put down your achievements, because no matter what anyone says, if you are proud of your rank that you achieved, then don't let anyone put you down. Grinding Valorant, however, can be a pain. Competitive is becoming extremely more annoying with the increased amount of cheaters people are seemingly facing. I've never seen any, by the way. With more people becoming more toxic and Valorant not being able to find a good balance within the agent pool itself, agents like Viper, Killjoy, or even Cypher now are just so good that nerfing them, or for some reason buffing them, will make a change. Whilst agents like Yoru, ISO, Harbor are neglected for the longest time, or are just not fun to play. On top of that, balancing a game between your pro players and your high elo players is already difficult. So doing that between your competitive grinders and your casual players might be an even bigger mountain to climb for Riot Games. The casual player base is an interesting one. Keeping them happy is arguably more difficult than the main competitive audience that Valorant has. The casuals want to E-date, match names and banners, play shorter game modes, trying to find the next kitten, or for the majority, they just want to have fun without trying. And to be honest, I think that is very hard in Valorant. Coming into Valorant, there is honestly not much else than game modes that prepare you to play competitive. Deathmatch, unrated, swift plays, customs, and the range are all modes and parts of the game that help you improve or give you a taste of what playing competitive would be like. The only game modes that currently do not represent comp or help it in a way are Escalation, Spike Rush, and TDM. And even TDM, in my opinion, is a good warm-up for ranked. I mean, when you have competitive packaged in 5 different ways, it becomes obvious why 30-year-old players like Jimmy, who come back from work and want to play some Valorant, do not stay for long on the game. Now, I must admit, the casuals probably play together in groups of 5 and have a good time, which makes it easy for Riot to manage. They create their own fun, but more frequent updates or new game modes, or even aesthetic changes to maps would be a small ask to Riot Games to at least keep their game entertaining for the casual player base. Now for content creators. Probably the heart and soul of Valorant. As much as the game strives competitively, creators are what keeps the game relevant within both the casual and competitive communities. From streamers promoting VCT through watch parties, to TikTokers and YouTubers who teach people how to play the game, make entertaining content, or keep people updated on everything that is new. But for content creators to stay alive and motivated, Valorant needs to acknowledge their needs. I've seen a lot of creators talk about this before, but Valorant very quickly gets boring, stale, or repetitive. And as previously mentioned, updates need to happen more frequently so that creators don't get bored of creating the same content over and over again. Finally, after 4 years, Valorant added its first gun to the game in the Outlaw, which already goes a long way for creators, casuals, and competitive players. Other than that, map changes and new agent additions generate a couple day hype before content becomes difficult. I could see why for many creators it's hard to find something original, as there's not much room for creativity within a game that actively tries to promote one thing: competitive play. Now in conclusion, Valorant needs to actively consider its roadmap. I do not doubt that they will make the right decisions, but change is necessary to keep the game running forward. The Outlaw is already a step in the right direction, but I doubt it will do much to make the game less fatiguing. In the end, the concept of picking up the bomb, planting the spike on site, and making it explode for 12 rounds, and then reversing it, obviously becomes repetitive. But making changes to the environment more frequently, or giving players new features such as a replay system, would go a long way to improving the game for all player categories. Maybe I'm asking too much. Balancing a game like Valorant requires time and effort, and a lot of planning, no doubt. Only time will tell if Valorant can please everyone. But for now, we just gotta wait. So take care.